I'm going to talk about the chef's kiss, the C1 Chevrolet Corvette, one of the most beautiful and iconic American classics that there is, and quite famous for its stint at Le Mans. Okay, so the C1 Chevrolet Corvette. So the one that you can see right now on my screen, I actually was really fortunate enough to see twice this year. Once at Brooklands, who I've shouted out before, host an American car day, and the second time was at the British Motor Show in Farnborough back in August. Now, the thing that I particularly love about this C1 Chevrolet Corvette is just how clean the owner keeps it. And it wouldn't be as much of a magical experience if the owners of these really rare, classic, great cars didn't look after it. And let's be honest, that's one of the things that captures my eye in particular. The other things, and if you've seen my Ford Thunderbird video, you will know already, are my top 3 things that I absolutely love about the American classics. Number 1, you've got those chrome elements, and I'm not normally a chrome person, but I just think on these cars, they give so much character, a lot of shine, and a nice bit of contrast to the rest of the paintwork. The second is that there's actually a little bit of a bitone element going across this car. So in this one, you see it in that lovely like racing red, and the chrome helps to build in that bitone colour and the contrast. And the third are those white wall tyres. Now those thick white wall tyres just symbolise freedom to me and American classics from the 1950s. So let's walk around the car and explore it some more. Okay, so the front face of the C1. It is the first impression. Let's be honest, we all look at the front of the car because it is the thing that gives us the most character. A lot of people will see faces in cars, and I don't think this car is any exception. You can see this time it's got dual headlights, really sort of casting its stance. It makes it look quite wide, and the way that those headlights are shaped actually give it a little bit of muscle on it, if you can see the sculpting over the top of those dual headlights. You've also got the logo within the middle, so like the heart of the car, right? It just tells you who that car is. You've also then got the real emphasized chrome elements, particularly around the front grille and where we would normally see things like fog lights and the front apron. It is quite assertive, and it also kind of just gives it a little bit of a grin. Do you know what I mean? Can you see the little grin along the bottom? Now, a little bit of a fact about the C1 Chevrolet Corvette is that it was designed to be one of the first like sports cars or racing cars that Chevrolet produced. And actually you can start to see that with the sloping bonnet. Basically, it helps to reduce drag by increasing aerodynamics. So frequently known as a roadster, this Corvette actually gained its fame winning its class at the 24 Hours of Le Mans with drivers John Fitch and Bob Grossman. So you can see why it's 0 to 62 in 6 seconds and its top speed of 130 miles per hour were actually pretty impressive for vehicles of that time, especially looking as beautiful as it does. It doesn't compromise on design in order to gain speed or performance. This one is obviously the convertible. You've got the nice wind in your hair feeling, and particularly for the drivers going through Le Mans, they wanted something that is going to help improve their performance time and not hinder it. So let's head around to the side then. Now, I mentioned at the beginning those bitone elements, and you can start to see that here. So you've got the white wall tyres that are framed really beautifully amongst that wheel arch there. You sort of see the movement. Now you've got this strip of white that gives it a sense of travel. And again, with most cars, particularly those that emphasize their speed or their nature, you'll get that sense of travel. And those chrome elements that basically move along the side strip there are designed to help emphasize that travel. You can also see the smoothness of the bonnet too from this side angle, and you can see just how sleek it is in design. Now those white wall tyres, and here you've got some really beautiful chrome elements on the wheels too, really create that sense of American classic culture. Particularly with the Chevrolet logo on the side there, you've got the flags waving you past. So it builds into its motorsport racing heritage and character. Now, you'll notice that this car in particular has a lot of those lovely elements that tie into each other. So the white wall on the side tying beautifully with that white strip leading along the side in the door panel. You've got the red that goes, of course, into the interior where you can see that red upholstery as well. And the chrome elements just help to tie it all together. Think about a hem on a piece of clothing. It's like that. It just ties it in and keeps it nice and neat. As you look in the interior, of course, this is not a car that is designed for your everyday needs. And I think that's quite apparent, particularly because you've got minimal space within the interior for anything other than your passenger and driver. In fact, that steering wheel, particularly on this version, is so imposing, it really highlights it as a driver-focused car. You can see the sun visors as well that are hanging down from the top of the windscreen. It's a very different, dynamically designed car. And I think, again, what you've got with the neatness of this is the chrome elements through and through. So you've got some beautiful chrome plates along the door, along the dash, which tie in nicely with the red. And the little spots of white, now I don't know if this is just an addition that the driver has put in, actually really complement the whole colour scheme of the car. And it just says to me, racing. You can sort of see that there's quite a lot of dials, and it looks a little bit like what we might imagine perhaps an airplane to have within inside it. And it really says the level of professionalism and skill that the driver has to have. So building on that racing feel. And I'm a huge believer that we can walk around and tell you every single detail about the car, but the car has to give you some kind of feeling. And for me, this feels like if I'm sitting behind it, I'm about to take racing line as I'm going on the Le Mans circuit. And that's kind of the feeling it wants to give you. And I think it's just those aspects of it that you kind of can't describe so much with the details of the car, but more about what it evokes for you. For a car of this era, it's actually got a really decent 0 to 62 mile per hour or 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. It basically can achieve that in about 6 seconds, which is quite fast. And that's kind of why it was introduced by Chevrolet, because they wanted to have a sports car, race car within their range. And of course, we've seen the evolution of the Corvette. What a great choice they made. It can also reach a top speed of around 130 miles per hour, which is quite similar to cars today as well. But again, thinking about that 1950s architecture, the design, the innovation, the engineering, actually it's pretty iconic for its era. So heading round to the back then, and the way that shape of the bonnet at the front is almost mimicked again at the rear, so you've got that sloping movement, and it kind of feels like when it goes past, it gives the sense of like a bullet, if you like. So it's got some really long bullet shaped rear lights. You've also got some pointed elements again that emphasize the car's assertiveness on the racetrack. So you've got the exhausts either side that kind of create that muscular element too, and you can see that from the sloping boot. It's not designed to carry heavy things, so maybe your shopping bags or something small, but nothing huge, particularly because you don't want to weigh the car down. And again, if this car overtakes you, not only in your rearview mirror did you see the logo, as it's gone past, you've got the logo again, and that's kind of its signature. Now, I do have some sad news for you. If you are looking at getting a C1 Chevrolet Corvette, you are going to have to save for a little while if you don't have the pennies behind you already. At the moment, they currently go for around $100,000, if not more. And it's not hard to see why, particularly from its iconic status. In this condition, it's beautiful, but also the heritage that it carries. Plus, 0 to 62 in 6 seconds, that's a pretty thrilling driving experience. You've also got the luxuries inside. You've got a proper driver-focused car here. And if you're the passenger, you can simply let your hair down, watch the world around you going past, knowing that you're riding an absolute luxury in a roadster. So for me, this C1 Chevrolet Corvette hits the top 5 of my American classics. And I just love it, from the design details to the way that it represents how you're supposed to feel as you drive, and also the sloping elements. It really complements its racing history. So I'd love to know what you thought of the C1. Have you been in one? Have you driven one? Let me know what you think. And also, would you buy one? Or would you sell it if you managed to get hold of one? I mean, let me know if you've got one. I'd love to drive one. So thanks for sticking around for my C1 Chevrolet Corvette review. I'm Belinda Automotive, so if you want to see more reviews like this, not just American classics, but new cars from different eras, hit that subscribe button. You might also stumble across some of my tomfoolery videos too.